Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod. Today with us is Michael Falato. He's a GTM expert, founder and CEO at Full Throttle, leads 25 years of enterprise sales experience. He's into lead generation and recruitment automation. He's a U.S. Air Force veteran and also practices Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt, so that's pretty hard to achieve. Muay Thai guy, just like myself, and a saxophonist, which is quite interesting. Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by podpire.com. If you want to start a podcast, if you want to monetize it through YouTube AdSense, leads, and sponsors, you can go to podpire.com. We have a free ebook and a masterclass there. Mike, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
All right. Nice to meet everybody. ¿Qué pasó? Hola, ¿cómo está? Assalamu alaikum. Bonjour. All that stuff. Yeah. So I basically started a company. It's Full Throttle Falato Leads. You missed the lead sides of the Falato side of it. But I basically started a company 4 years ago that handles the whole automation approach to lead gen. Email automation, LinkedIn automation, and then I do masterminds, TEDx talks, roundtables to educate versus sell. And it produces 10 to 20 sales qualified meetings a month by doing more of a one-to-one outreach, but do it at scale. So that's kind of my background. 25 years in sales, like you said, veteran in the Air Force, about 25 years of software sales. I really understand how to do it right and what I've done wrong. Just like in martial arts and sales and anything else, you lose fast, and you learn, and you figure out how to do it. So I've already done all that, so you don't have to sit there and do all that things that are not going to work and figure out a year later that you went the wrong direction.
Right. Let's start with the Air Force, right? Spent 12 years in the Air Force. What did you learn from your time there, and how did you transit these skills into sales?
Well, I was a reservist, so I didn't have to go away and then figure out what I'm doing in life. I always had a background in TV production, and I was going to do that for a living. I didn't, but I kept doing it in the Air Force. I also worked on KC-135s, which are the tankers that fuel the jets underneath them. So I was doing video production and working on the systems as a mechanic before I got into video production. I turned into internet sales guy for a while, software sales, and then 4 years ago, basically built this company to over 80,000 MRR a month. But yeah, my military background is something I really enjoy, being a veteran, having benefits from them, also just being able to have some discipline in life as well. I think everybody should serve in the military at least 1 to 2 years in the reserves, at least in the U.S. It's a good idea. I think you see a lot of other countries do that, but here it's, I'm very proud to be part of the country.
Right. Israel is a good example of that. I think the country is a founder producing machine. They're really good in the startups and business world in Israel. So yeah.
IDF is really the defense. Is it ID? Well, I think it's called IDF, isn't it?
Israel Defense Force, IDF, I think.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I think you serve at least 1 or 2 years. Everybody has to. That's a good policy.
Yeah, the discipline and the teamwork skills, and to not be such a cocky little brat when you start in life, because you have you're like me, maybe you were that way too. I was quite ambitious and would run my mouth quite a lot, and when you need to do extremely difficult activities while you keep that ego for yourself and you learn. Talking about that, you're a BJJ practitioner, right? You've got a black belt that usually takes 5 to 10 years.
No, it really takes 10 to 12 years.
Yeah. But I think there's programs which you can like fast track it if you're like every day in the dojo or something like that. But that's pretty.
Those are like the ones, right? You got to get your. I mean, those are like VJ Penn, like my friend Cody Steele got his black belt 7 years. I mean, you got to be really a phenom to get it in 5, 6 years. But I started at 42. It took me 10. I still feel like I'm not a black belt, but I am.
Yeah. So what did that taught you? Did you just take your military background and doing tough shit and being disciplined, being strategic, and you brought that to the jiu-jitsu world? What did you learn from that decade-long black belt?
It's a trade-off. I mean, I think both things taught each other what to do and what not to do. I think you leave your ego at the front, lose and learn fast. I was a wrestler, so I felt like I had a really good jiu-jitsu start. I went in there to learn boxing, where I went. It was called John's Gym, and they had boxing, Muay Thai, and jiu-jitsu. I didn't want to roll around with sweaty guys at the time. But when you start looking at jiu-jitsu and how much of it's a chess game, and you don't care about the sweat and too personal, too much personal one-on-one. It's more about being able to defend yourself, your family, and know that if you needed to manhandle somebody to protect your family, you can. It's really interesting to see a cop or someone come through the door that's maybe even a special forces guy. You're like, let's see what you got. And it's I'm 54 years old. And it's like playing with a kid. Of course, if there's a knife or gun, I'm probably gonna get shot. Here's my wallet. Thank you. I'm not gonna sit there and be a hard ass. But the whole idea is just anything you do in life, be humble, pay it forward, and figure out what's gonna work and be fair. Like there's a lot of people that treat other people the wrong way, and you don't need to be aggressive with someone in work or personal relationships to get what you want. Figure out who you're talking to and why you're talking to them, and hear what they have to say, and just say, this is how I feel. So I basically take that whole full throttle approach, which is who I am as a person, and turn it into a company. And a cop in Orlando gave me that full throttle nickname, who's a black belt and teaches jiu-jitsu to the Orlando Police Department. So it's like, that's a great thing. It rhymes with my name, and it's also me as a person and me as someone that's grown up my whole life in sales. So that's kind of how I got the name Full Throttle. But that's everything tied into each other: Marine, Air Force, sales, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, and all tied in to make what makes me successful, which is do what you're supposed to do, just like Belichick. Do your job, right? I don't want to hear excuses. I don't hear why you're late. Once in a while is great, but there's so many bad work ethics going on in life right now, and it's like you disrespect people by showing up late all the time. You disrespect by not being prepared. You disrespect by not, if you already know there's some issues, come with a list of things to help. How are you going to fix this problem? Don't make the guy or girl ask you how you're going to fix this. You already know there is. So be forward thinking.
And how do you teach your kids these values through martial arts? Would that be a good start?
Yeah, I think team sports, martial arts is good. I think jiu-jitsu is made for someone that's smaller to be able to defend. Even Muay Thai. I mean, I have a guy 135 pounds that is the professor's son, who's the professor now. He'd kill me. He'd murder me. But he's also half my age. But he's you don't think a skinny little kid that looks like a guy that works in the mailroom is going to kill you. But they're damn right tough guys. So you got to teach your kids to basically figure out what needs to be done and how to figure out the problem themselves instead of doing it for them. So I also think there's too much emphasis on sports as a kid too, where I see families taking their kids to football, soccer, lacrosse practice every weekend, and they live on the road. So to me, jiu-jitsu is a team / individual sport, just like wrestling, right? You're there for your friends, you're there with your partners. It teaches you how to be a better person, but you can't live your life to extreme right or extreme left politics. You can't live your life in extreme sport or extreme laziness. Find a happy place and do it.
Yeah, I think martial arts are the remedy to bullying as well. I think everyone should do martial arts, just like you think everyone should go through the army. And it's on both sides because, yeah, once you are the bullied and you learn how to fight, you don't have a fear anymore. Oh my God, I'm going to fight. I'm going to die. And once you're the bully and you get smacked in the face, you get to respect the people you're bullying. Sparring is one of the greatest activity for that. I remember that when I was young, I would be scared to fight people off. Nowadays, it's like a game, you know, it's a puzzle, just like you mentioned. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you find ways not to get in a fight. And you keep your space. You fight only if you have to. If you fight at our age, or at least I know I'm twice your age, probably, but if you fight and you own a company, you're going to lose everything. Fighting is not the first thing you should be thinking about. But the thing with jiu-jitsu, you could put someone to sleep and not sit there and kick him and punch him in the face like Muay Thai and hurt him. So you can use the more violent part of martial arts when you need to, but if you can, de-escalate and figure a way to make it right, you know. But I have bad temper, so I know my son got bullied and he had a lot more by a 65-year-old former Marine that got his butt kicked by my son because he waved the gun at my son, and then he punched him, and my son took him down, mounted him. He could have wailed on him, and guess what? That guy is now has 2 years probation for brandishing a weapon, and he went on my property, and he was drunk driving. It's like, think about the reactions to what's going to happen in life when you act stupid.
Yeah, the repercussions. What I like personally about martial arts is the sort of force field of energy that some people have. So Steve Jobs had that. Donald Trump certainly has that, although I don't agree with everything he says. But once you have been in a fight, you have that energy that you bring to the table. Sorry for the noise. There's a truck with like these disc brakes. And people, generally speaking, are not wanting to engage with that. And it's authority, it's no fear as well. So technically that should avoid a lot of confrontations. Now, when it comes to your business, Full Throttle Lead, both you and I are into lead gen, right? We've seen a lot change in the past couple of years, the deliverability landscape in the last year. I've been using podcasts as a front-end funnel to generate leads for myself and my clients. That has done amazing. What have you seen change in Full Throttle Falato leads in the last couple of years with the deliverability landscape, how much people are sending cold email nowadays, and the effectiveness of it?
Yeah, I mean, I've used 3-pronged approach, which is email, LinkedIn, roundtables versus podcast, because I think it's one to many when I do a roundtable. But podcasting is another lead magnet that's great if you have an audience for it, which that's a whole nother thing that you need to get good at. But if you go just to sell and not come up with ways to help people or make them feel special, you're not gonna get through all the different spam filters and LinkedIn issues. You'll get kicked out of LinkedIn for automating, and you'll get spam blocked on email. And the deliverability on emails keeps on getting worse and worse. I was getting an average of 30, 40, 50% open rates. On average, it's 10 now because of Google and Gmail and Yahoo and Microsoft Office 365. So I use a server like SendGrid, an email engineer that knows how to set the DKIM, the DMARC, the SPF, the MX records. There's an art to what I do, and there's 25 years of selling that no one has what I have, right? You can't repeat me. You repeat some of the processes I do, but you can't repeat my mind. So it's a good and bad thing because it's not a repeatable and scalable SaaS platform that I am, but it's a repeatable and scalable process. And I use technology that's SaaS. So I'm a sales as a service, SaaS, selling software as a service, SaaS. So I'm a SaaS squared.
Right. So, okay. For your own business nowadays, like how much do you charge per month, and do you offer like guarantees to your clients?
So I charge anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 a month. I guarantee the outreach of I'm able to hit 3,000 to 5,000 emails, whatever, or 20,000 to 30,000 emails a month, or on average 150 activities on LinkedIn, but there's obviously cadences, deliverability. So I can pretty much guarantee what I can do, but I can't guarantee you that I'm going to produce 200 meetings for you a month, because you're selling your services and what you do. I'm like your FedEx. I know how to get it there faster, logistically, and better, but what's in the box, that's yours. So it's not a guarantee. There's companies that do guarantee, but for me, I get paid for my time, effort, consulting, strategy, data, and all that stuff. I don't sell myself short by just, hey, I'll brand you for free. If you get a meeting, you can pay me. Not my business model.
Are you leveraging AIs in your sales funnel nowadays?
Yeah, I use AI for like ChatGPT and Gemini inside of my copywriting. I don't use it for on-the-fly AI approach, which might be generative AI or chat AI, because I think it pulls together the wrong messaging unless you proofread it. So I'd rather it be somewhat unique and hinge around an event versus, hey, I see that you work for this, and that. Because on my LinkedIn, it has 8 different jobs that I work at right now. And it's not jobs, but I'm part of the Rev Genius. I'm part of SaaStr. I'm part of Pavilion, whatever it is. So the AI will pick up that I'm a VP of this, and I'm not a VP of that. So now you lose me because you're trying to be too cute on AI. So use AI the right way, and use it to help you get meetings, but don't use it for everything. Like, to me, like, instead of, if you are B2C or selling a very small product online that you don't want to service everybody or sell everybody, a chat AI box would be good, at least to start cultivating the lead. But that's not what I sell. Very specific goals and tools and services that correlate to the pains of what's going on with the client. So I'm not going to trust it to some sort of ChatGPT box at my point.
Right. What are your top goals for this year?
I'd like to double from $1 million to $2 million in revenue. So I think I'm on a good path to do that. I think having a new president is definitely helped with the business side. If you look at everything that's going on with this year, it's business pro. Let's get business going, and I like that. I think any entrepreneur is going to love where we're heading for the next couple of years. Hopefully, we'll see how he does. But nothing beats where we were, where it was really slow, and then COVID didn't help either.
Right. And personally, any personal goals for this year?
Like I said, just double my revenue and pay it forward.
Health or I don't know, spirituality, relationship.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just, right now I'm putting on some muscle, so I want to keep on doing that and strengthen my left shoulder. It's really bad. I tore my labrum a little bit. Become a better jiu-jitsu practitioner, become a better salesperson, become a better man, better father.
Are you hiring people right now, or mostly relying on AIs and automations?
I have a VP of client success. I have a marketing assistant, and I have my kids doing some light SDR work, and I have an email engineer. So it's pretty streamlined. I'm always looking for commission-based salespeople. If they have relationships, I give referrals. Until I get bigger, I'm not going to be hiring more people. I had a couple of people that I hired that I gave a chance to, and they let me down, which unfortunately to me, humans are the biggest question mark sometimes about getting stuff done, because there's a lot of personal things going on. So I'd rather focus in on what AI does and automation does to get me the top of funnel than I personally go and do these sales calls or interviews, and I'm the best public figure for that right now.
Right. And your kids, what are you teaching him? And is he disappointing sometimes, or mostly up to the expectations?
No, he's in college. The daughter's in college. They're both working for me part-time, and my daughter changed her major from physical therapy sports to sales and marketing, because it's much more lucrative, and I could teach her. So They both have over 9,000 connections on LinkedIn already.
That's quite impressive. And how do you separate personal from business? That's something that needs to happen, or can both coexist successfully?
It's challenging. It's challenging, but the kids are learning to not draw a line and mix them together as much. Where I was getting frustrated that things were not getting done sometimes. Now I just say, listen, you get 15 hours a week, pay you per hour, and until you get out of college, I want them to work other places too, which they have, but in the QSR restaurant space, that's great. But now get some real experience doing sales. I want them to do sales training and read some sales books, listen to some sales videos. I like sales for dummies, challenger sales, selling the veto. There's a whole bunch of things. Find out what works for you, and then implement different things from different places. Challenger customers are definitely a good one as well.
Michael, thanks from the value added today. Where can we find out more about you?
Yeah, Full Throttle Falato Leads. See the spelling here in my lower third there. FullThrottleFalatoLeads.com, and there's everything on there. There's also my calendar, so you can book a time. That's really, obviously not to pick my brain for anything. It's if you're interested in possibly using Full Throttle for lead gen. But there's ways to work together if two people want to work together or two companies want to work together. I always will find a reason, but I really like things that do something good and it's a little bit different. I don't want to just say, hey, I can help you sell websites, and there's 50,000 people that sell websites and you have one client. It's not a good fit for me to be your whole marketing team. I'm another path that's really good if you have a little bit of momentum going, not like I don't know who to talk to and what to do, and I only have one client and I have no budget. It's too early for me at that point.
Michael Falato and Charles Cormier for another Founder Wisdom Pod.